Today we celebrate the memorial of who? Saint Camillus de Lellis. He was a soldier and a gambler, and ended up founding an order dedicated to caring for the sick. Camillus was born in 1550 in Abruzzo region of Naples, good old Napoli. His mother died during his infancy, and he lost his father. 6 years later, he took after his late father professionally, serving in the armies of Venice and Naples until 1574. He was born during 1550 in the Abruzzo region of Naples. During his military service, Camillus developed a severe gambling problem. He repented of the habit in 1575 when he found himself impoverished and forced to do menial work for a group of Franciscans. In February of that year, he resolved to change his life and soon sought to join the order. A wound in one of his legs, however, was seen as incurable and kept him from becoming a Franciscan. After this rejection, he traveled to Rome and worked for 4 years in a hospice. Committed to a life of prayer and penance, he wore a hair shirt and received spiritual direction from St. Philip Neri. Grieved by the quality of service given to the sick, Camillus decided to form an association of Catholics who would provide them with both physical and spiritual care. He studied for the priesthood and eventually was ordained in 1584. Members of his order worked in hospitals, prisons, and in the homes of those afflicted by disease. The order's original name, the Fathers of a Good Death, reflected the desire to aid in the spiritual salvation and prepare the dying to receive their last rites. Later known as the Order of Ministers of the Sick, or simply as the Camillians, the group received papal approval in 1586. In addition to the vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, they took one of serving the sick. Camillus himself suffered physical ailments throughout his life. His leg wound never healed in almost 5 decades, and he also suffered from sores and severe kidney trouble, but he is said to have spent time with the sick even while unable to walk by crawling from bed to bed. The founder of the Ministers of the Sick lived to assist at a general chapter of his order in Rome during 613 and to make a last visitation of many of the hospitals. He said, "I rejoice in what has been told me. We shall go into the house of the Lord." Receiving the Eucharist for the last time, he declared, "O Lord, I confess I am the most wretched of sinners, most undeserving of your favor, but save me by your infinite goodness. My hope is placed in your divine mercy through your precious blood." He gave his last instructions to the men around him and died on July 14th, canonized by Pope Benedict XIV in 1746, and named later on, along with St. John of God, one of the co-patrons of nurses and nursing associations. Oh, there you go, St. Camillus had a big gambling problem, overcame the problem, and worked the rest of his life for others, in spite of the fact that he himself suffered greatly. And that's the way to do it. Not to think of yourself, but of others. God bless us all.